Very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. What is the last one for the week? We'll try our best to make it worth your while. On the show tonight, we will be talking about the Flying Eagles of Nigeria as they prepare for their opener at FIFA U20 World Cup. We'll also be taking a look at the things happening in the domestic league. We'll also look at our clubs on the continent. Continental assignment, looking at our teams in the CAF Champions League, and of course in the CAF Confederation Cup. We will also talk about the English Premier League. That's the outlook of the show for tonight. We urge you to sit back and relax, even as we take you on the strip. All right, this is a two-man show. You already know that. My colleague Austin Okonapan is suited ready as we go along on this ride. All right, I guess I'll just be on solo for now, and of course bring him in at some point. All right, let me just quickly let you in on the fact that we will be joined by the media officer of the Flying Eagles. Will be joining us any moment from now. We'll also be looking at a few issues around the Commonwealth Games. Let me just quickly bring him on to his show, talking about Sharif Abdallah, the Flying Eagles media officer. Greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you very much, my brother. It's a pleasure to join you. Good evening to you. And of course, it's nice to be here with you and talk about the Flying Eagles preparations ahead of the tournament.
All right, so what's the mood like in camp? What can you tell us about the boys as they're preparing for the opening game?
Well, of course, we've had quality preparations, and trust me, it can't get any better than what we've had for the past couple of weeks, right from our days in Abuja. We had like 5 to 6 weeks camping and preparations ahead of this tournament, and we left the shores of the country. Of course, we stayed in Santiago for almost 2 weeks, had a 12 days training camp, and in the process, we were able to play two friendlies that will serve as preparations for this forthcoming tournament. You know, as far as youth football is concerned, or rather under 20, I don't think it can get any better than the FIFA under 20 World Cup, because I can remember vividly right from our days in Lome, the Togolese capital. The whole idea was to get down to Chile, and that mission has been accomplished, trust me. And preparations, started immediately after we wrapped things up in Egypt, having qualified for the FIFA Under 20 World Cup, and of course also finishing as a third best team on the continent. So we were here for 2 weeks, and at the moment, I think with what I have seen, these young lads are in bullish mood. We're just waiting for the right time to put almost everything in order according to the plan. The whole idea is to kickstart this tournament with the right foot, because a win will certainly go a long way in trying to get the Flying Eagles past the group stage. That's the whole idea. There's a mission actually, but the execution is what this team wants to take it step by step. We started by playing 2 friendlies, one against host nation, that's Chile, which ended in a 1-1 draw, and the second game, which we won convincingly, 3-1 against Australia, who were also the champions of their region. So I think these 2 games we played about a week ago, to be precise, I believe, with what was displayed during these 2 games between Chile and the Flying Eagles, as well as the Aussies, I think we're ready and, of course, good to go. I just believe these young lads are in that kind of mood to take their chances, and trust me, we are leaving no stone unturned. We have an idea of our opponents, and I believe, the technical crew are equal to the task to, take each game as it comes by.
All right. I know you've told us that they've settled in Chile, and of course they're ready for the game. But I want to ask you this: this is a tournament that Nigeria has never won. I'm very sure we'll be hoping that his boys will go all the way. So does that put the team under any sort of pressure, or you think that even with that, it doesn't change the dynamics of what they expect to achieve in Chile?
Well, I personally don't see it as a pressure. Trust me, I think I would prefer to use the word challenge. The fact that this tournament has been elusive to Nigeria it doesn't mean we've not really been performing well. Remember, I can give you, I can break it down for you. Even in spite of the fact that the Flying Eagles were unable to win this tournament, not even once, but I think we have achieved some targets. One is, the smooth transition of some Flying Eagles players to the Super Eagles. One of the ultimate target of this tournament, not just almost all the teams, if you ask me. So we've seen that, and most of the times, whenever the Flying Eagles perform very well, I think in the upcoming years, you will see the reflection on the Super Eagles. But having said that, I believe is a challenge. The fact that we've never won it in history doesn't mean we cannot win it now, and is one of the reasons why you prepare yourself very well, and with the kind of preparations, with the kind of quality this team possess, I believe this is the right time for us to stake that claim, considering the fact that we've had enough time to prepare, and of course we know what is at stake, where the team actually have an idea of the fact that we've made it to the podium, sadly losing in 1989 and the year 2005. So I don't see it as a pressure, so to say, but I preferred this to be called a challenge. So if you challenge yourself, I think the stakes are very high. If you are confident enough, I believe you can surmount that challenge.
All right, that's good to hear. All right, my colleague Austin Okonakman is ready now. Greetings to you, Austin. I'm very sure you have a question or two for the media officer of the Flying Eagles.
Yes, for the greetings to you, Yemi, and our viewers from all over the world. Let me quickly get to Sharif. You mentioned that if this Flying Eagles team do well, it will, rub off on the Super Eagles, and I totally agree with you. Do we have the sort of players that can give us progression into the Super Eagles from this Flying Eagles team?
Well, mark my words. Trust me, mark my words. This will be a reference interview for you. Trust me. I am personally confident that we will have at least nothing less than 3 to 4 players that I believe. I am confident and I'm highly optimistic.
That's nothing less than 24?
No, I said nothing less than 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
Nothing less than 3 or 4.
All right.
3 or 4 players in this current squad that I am highly optimistic will have a smooth transition from this current set of Flying Eagles to the Super Eagles. And like I said earlier,
give us names. 3 or 4. Give us names. Let's look at them.
3 or 4. Well, I believe a lot of Nigerians are aware of the fact that one of the stars of this team, who is one of the most experienced, trust me, because he has been here with us 2 years ago, Daniel Daga. I believe Daniel Dagger's time, he's not far from the reach of the Super Eagles. Daniel Dagger has really displayed that maturity and quality. And of course, the captain as well, Daniel Bami. That's another player that I believe, with his on and off the field, attitude and character, because he has really been commanding. He has been inspiring right from the days this team was set up. That was in Togo in October 2024 when the Flying Eagles won the regional tournament. I personally call him Captain Fantastic, trust me. So I believe he's one of the players that I believe can have that smooth transition from the Flying Eagles to the Super Eagles. And to mention but few, Suleiman Sani, he is already playing for AS Transini in Slovakia. And he's one of the players that, moved into this team, which he wasn't part of the team during the WAFU and AFCON tournament. But with what he has displayed, you need to watch the game against Australia. He's a fantastic player operating from the flank. And I believe he's one player Nigerians should also watch out for in this forthcoming tournament. We have a handful, Tahir Maigana as well. Like I said, 3 or 4, I believe, and I'm confident that we'll have that smooth transition.
Okay. In terms of the coaching crew, how pumped up are they? What sort of work are they doing? What are their expectations? What are the expectations from the team?
Well, the coaching crew led by Ali Zubairu are aware of the fact that this is one tournament that really makes Nigerians happy. And this team has really been doing well for the past couple of years. If I can remember, 2 years ago, we were in the quarterfinal of the tournament. And in the round of 16, we were able to eliminate the host, Argentina, which will really go down in history as one of the memorable games as far as the Flying Eagles is concerned. So I also believe, like I said, Nigerians shouldn't look at it from the side of pressure, but rather is a challenge. This is the first time he is in charge of a national team, but trust me, he has displayed some characters that I believe Nigerians should be confident about him. Alongside his lieutenants, his assistants, they've really been helping. And one area that I am personally really impressed with the coaching crew is the fact that, up front of the Flying Eagles, that's the striking department, has not really been biting, so to say, during the AFCON Under-20 tournament in Egypt. But with what I have seen, this is an area that has been ultimately taken care of. Because we've played 2 games so far, even though we conceded 2. But don't forget the fact that we've scored 4 goals from the 2 games, and all from open play, none from set piece. So I think with this, I'm confident the technical crew led by Ali Zubairu will do extremely well ahead of this tournament.
That's a good place to leave it. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Sharif Abdallah, for your time on the show. Give our best wishes and love to the team. We just hope that a beautiful story will come out of this experience. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to join you guys. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That's it. Media officer of Nigeria's Flying Eagles that gets him ready for the FIFA World Cup. Yeah, it's a reassuring conversation. He has given us names that we can look forward to, that can, get us talking and hopefully make it to the Super Eagles. It seems like the future looks good for football in Nigeria, Yemi.
We'll have to wait and see. There's a bit of skepticism, pessimism, if I must say. As far as the tournament goes, I don't think a lot of us have worries, but you made the conversation go in another direction when you started talking about players that could migrate into the Super Eagles, and you forced him to mention a few names.
No, you said 3 or 4. Let's know the names, because you remember we were struggling to call our names, and a name that I even don't want to see or hear again, this Flying Eagles, he mentioned it. So maybe he knows what we don't know, Yemi. And it was just good that he tells us names. It's closer to the team.
All right. So we'll wait to see. Names have been penciled down. So we'll see beyond the Under-20 tournament. We'll see what happens to those players. Like you said a few days ago, the real idea of this tournament is progression. So even if we win, ultimately,
That's right.
the plan is to see some of these boys 10 years, 15 years down the line. If that happens, we have really won. If that happens. All right, let's talk about the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier that Nigeria is going to be involved in. And it's right here on your screen tomorrow at the Lincoln Salami Stadium in Ibadan. The girls, the Falconets, will take on their opponents from Rwanda. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And also let's really talk about that. You know, we may say the gap has closed down when it comes to the senior ladies, but at age group, no one comes close. And you can't be forgiven if you expect the girls to steamroll their opponents.
You know, I mean, I've said it over and over again that we see progression from the Flamingos to the Falconets and the Super Falcons. And that's why we have that competition going on with the senior women's national team. Even when they bring the ladies from abroad, they see some good competition, you know, in the team from the players that are home-based. And it's simple. I mean, the structure is the league. We see these girls play football in the league, and they do just fine. So it brings back the conversation of progression that we're talking about with the men's team that we're not seeing. They won the first leg 1-0 in Rwanda. This is the second leg. Easy peasy. You want to give this one to the Falconets, you know. And I like everything that this team has got going for them, particularly their mentality. And look, when you have a winning senior team, I mean, it does something to the age grade because all of them, they are looking forward to that zone. And if you want to take a look at it now, call any big name that is in the Super Falcons that was homegrown. They passed through the league. Mm-hmm. They passed through the league. So is it Asisa Oshola? Is it Osinachi Oyale? Is it Chiamaka Nadozie? Is it the captain Rashidat Ajibade? And I've called practically the core of the team with just those few names that I mentioned. So it tells us that if we give proper attention to the league, that structure, that system, we keep growing and we keep getting better. You know, I was doing a bit of research before our game against Bafana. And out of 23 players, I mean 17, 18 from the PSL, proper. Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaiser Chiefs, you know, just that system right there, getting South Africa football solid. So I believe it's going to be straightforward win for the Falconets. I'm calling this one 3-0, if not more. 3-0 easy peasy for Nigeria to win it. And then see where they go from there. At the last World Cup, they showed us some promise. They showed us that they can compete. They've been unfortunate twice. I'm thinking this is another opportunity for them to go out there and prove that impossible is nothing, Yemi.
All right, I hope so as well. Let's go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, Nigeria's bid to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games will still be on the front burner on the show tonight. We'll also talk about the Nigerian teams on the continent. One of them was in action today, talking about Remo Stars. We'll do all of that. And of course, the English Premier League will also get our attention. But first, we need to go on a break. We'll return right after this break. Welcome back. It's time to talk about Nigeria's bid to host the Commonwealth Games, a bid to have Nigeria become the first African country to achieve that feat. South Africa got close, but pulled out at some point. Austin, it's a lot of it's receiving a lot of positive reviews, and even some of the people, myself included, that have some reservation, especially when it comes to infrastructure. I think that's right. I think you might have to agree that Nigeria never fails to disappoint. What happens after a major tournament is always the issue. But if you entrust us with hosting, we usually don't disappoint. But I'm always worried about the aftermath.
You're totally correct, and I'm in that boat with you. So pictures from the bid presentation yesterday, the chairman of the National Sports Commission, the DG, right there. That's the legend Marion Yali behind us, the former NFF Secretary General Musa Amadou, Eniola Bolaji, the bronze medalist from the Paralympics table tennis. That's Patricia just beside her. She's a boxer based in the United Kingdom. So Nigeria took a big delegation to London to prove a point. That's the presidential spokesman, Sunday Dare, NOC President Abu Gumel, that's Kweku Tando, Tunde Popola, Solomon Ogba, and the chairman of the bid committee, legendary broadcaster, Menasara Ilo. It was a big, delegation. And that's the Minister of the Creative Arts right there, Anatu, right there. So, Nigeria, when you tell us we can't do something, then we will prove you wrong. And this one, why we're all pumped up, is simply because we love being pace setters. I'm sure you agree with me. We want to be called giants, we want to be called leaders. And that's why everybody is pumped up about this bid. The presidency is backing it. I know if they say Nigeria jump at it 2 years from now, we'll bring out money, we'll put the Abuja National Stadium in good shape, and get the Commonwealth Games going. But I totally agree with you that to achieve that sports economy, maintain as a part of the conversation, we should have a structure where you should keep making money and all of that. But I asked a very important question to the NSC president and the DG, say, are we truly ready to ourselves? Let's be sincere. Let's listen to the DG of the NSC, Bukola Olokpade, and also the president of the Nigeria Olympic Committee, Abu Gumel. I spoke to them right after the bid presentation in London.
That we are very optimistic, that we had good discussions, good exchanges, and in a few weeks' time, I'm sure Nigerians will celebrate. Would we have bidded if we did not have the infrastructure? You must remember that the Commonwealth Games bid process has been compressed compared to the wide elements that he had before. But even at that, we hosted the Koja Games. We've hosted so many multinational, multi-sporting events. And when people start asking if we have the facilities, I just laugh. We do. And one of the best ways to rebirth and reinvigorate and recalibrate the facilities is through productive events of this nature. Because it simply means we have to refurbish, revamp, upgrade all existing facilities. But Abuja as a city is also going through a huge construction phase on literally every infrastructure. A few weeks ago, the Honorable Minister for the FCT, Governor Onyeso Wike, did call our attention to the fact that FCT is going to be boasting of multi-sports, multi-purpose halls across board. And the Honorable Minister of FCT is a doer. He's not a talker, he's a doer. And of course, after achieving it, we can have the celebratory dance that is known for. I believe we have the facilities, not just in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the ability mentally and the intellect for us to drive this kind of event. We are Nigerians. Austin, I've always said one thing. We live in the most beautiful country. We are the most beautiful people. We are the most intelligent people. And when called upon, irrespective of the industry, when called upon, Nigerians, we deliver. We are a giant. I am a giant. Borrowing the words of the Minister for Tourism, you are a giant. Every one of us are giants. And that will always reflect in whatever we do.
Very interesting experience. We are working hard, seriously on the bid, and the process continues. And we'll continue with it till the time comes when we'll hear the announcement.
How important is it for Nigeria and Africa to host the Commonwealth Games?
It is very, very important, extremely important. Africa never hosted it, and we want Nigeria to host it, so that means the game is coming to Africa. It's very, very important to us, because with game you leave legacy, you do a lot of things economically, and so many other things are going to take place. So it is a very important game, and we want it, and we want all the Commonwealth Games in Nigeria so that the Africans too can enjoy it.
But does Nigeria really have what it takes to host the Commonwealth Games?
Well, we have, because we have the guarantee of His Excellency, the President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and once we have the guarantee of the President, we don't have any problem.
Say it straightforward, Abu Gumel, Nigeria Olympic Committee President. Do we really have what it takes? Yeah, I mean, I always say that for a country supposed to do well, the presidency must lead the charge. And you can tell that the confidence that this team seems to be displaying is because President Bola Tinubu has said, look, go and tell them that we are ready to do it. And he's giving them all the support. But just to go back to what Bukola Olopade said, how we have hosted the African Games and other African competitions, it's not the same. 72 countries participated at the last Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in 2022, Yemi. So it's a serious business. And that's why we must be ready just in case we win this bid. Yemi, it is a whole lot of work.
It's not the same, and the standards are higher. All African Games max you had probably 55. If all African countries come, probably 55. You won't get more than that. And if you're going to have Great Britain and all of the other, Australia and all the likes come here, the standards definitely must be higher. But bottom line is not the same. That's just bottom line.
Yeah.
Are we capable? Yes. I must agree. Are we going to be ready? I like the words of Abu Gumel. He didn't say we are ready, he said we will be ready. And I like that. The reality is, as of today, we are not. Can we be ready? Yes. Jack Warner said it like 20, 30 years ago. Nigeria knows how to make wonders happen. The 7 wonders of the world, you will see it in Nigeria. Give us 2 weeks. We'll make it happen. That's Nigeria for you. I like the word you used yesterday, fire brigade. That's not the way to go, but that's what we're used to. But I know I'm not really worried about whether the time will be enough. But I'm worried about, are we going to ensure that the structures remain in place? This ecosystem that we are talking about, are we going to do everything to ensure that when people leave the current positions that they have, that everything will continue the way it should, irrespective of who sits in the position, who sits in a particular office. And if we can't get it right with all of these guys I'm seeing on your screen, then we should forget it, then we can never get it right. Because these are the guys you expect to be in this kind of position. All right, let's move on from this. Let's talk about football now. Talking about football on the continent, CAF club competitions. I'm going to go across in a bit. I'm going to go across, of course, 4 teams from Nigeria are in the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederation Cup. 2 teams apiece. One has booked its place in the next round of the CAF Champions League. So this is it. Remo Stars, they celebrated wildly in the dressing room today. Had a 1-0 victory over Zomaju of Comoros, and of course that gives them a 5-0 aggregate win over their opponents from Comoros. And of course Rivers United, coming off a goalless draw in the first leg, will be up against the team from Congo DR, against the Congo, and we'll see what happens in that one. Let's go at the CAF Confederation Cup, where the worry is really is for me, because you're looking at our teams not really in the position you want them to be. Kwara United, well, went to Ashanti Kotoko, got 3 goals but conceded 4. So you could say maybe the stars may align for them. They might just need a goal or 2 to go through. But the game between Abia Warriors and Joliba is where the worry is. They gave away they gave Joliba that away goal, which might count against them. You never can tell whether or not Abia Warriors will be able to go to Mali and get a result. Is what is left to be seen. So we're going to be watching. I was hoping we're going to get 4 in 4 for the first round, but we have to be realistic. It might not be, and my worry is particularly for Abia Warriors against Joliba. And Austin, let's quickly take this one out of the way. Do you share those worries as well?
Yeah, I do. When you have an opportunity to win it at home and have a statement win, it is very, very important. That's what Remo Stars did. They're not playing on their traditional home ground, and they have an opportunity. In the first leg, they came out big, won 4-0, and then today they wrapped it up. Alex Oyowa from the penalty spot, 1-0, 5-0 on aggregate. They are now going to the second preliminary round, and it will be tougher because they'll be meeting Mamelodi Sundowns. But this is football where anything can happen, But for Abia Warriors, I was pretty disappointed, but I forgive them because of their inexperience. When you play this sort of competition, you need character. You need to be ready mentally. And when they were winning that game, you need to do everything you can to just ensure that you win. Even if it's a slim 1-0 win, you put a bit of pressure on your opponent. But when they conceded that goal, I was so broken, because I love the story Abia Warriors told us, last season. And Coach Imama seemed to have been doing some good work and showing consistency with the team. Now they must show working. They must prove to us that they want to stay in this competition. I like when people put themselves in a difficult situation and find a way to get themselves out of it. Just tell yourself, I'm the one that caused this, so let me get myself out of it. I'd like to see what Kwara United will do. They had a fantastic outing in Ghana. Let's see if they can just, it's like now they've got the clay, they are the potter. They must mold something beautiful out of this experience. That's why when the governor was speaking, I say, Your Excellency, it's very important that your team, they have where they play. But now they'll be going to play in Uyo, and I don't know, Yemi, but let's just pray that they do something. Rivers United, look, they have more than enough experience on the continent. They should be able to, get something out of it. They went away, they didn't lose, they should be able to do just enough to win it. Yeah, it will be beautiful if at the end of the day, we have our 4 teams advance to the second preliminary round. But if football gives us 3, won't you take it?
I will. But 4 will be better, as you have said. All right, let's just quickly go on and talk about the NPFL quickly as we can. We'll make brief stops with the NPFL, and of course, we'll talk about the. All right, so that's it on your screens for tomorrow. Medal Insurance taken by Bayelsa United. Plateau United will take on El Kanemi Warriors. These 2 matches will be played tomorrow. Let's look at Sunday, where you have other matches to be played, and of course the teams on the continent surely will not be involved. So you have Kum Khalifat up against Barao FC. It's going to be interesting. These 2 newly promoted teams, what they're able to give. That's why United up against Casino United, Warri Wolves up against Shooting Stars. I think that game will be interesting. Wiki Tourists will take on Rangers International, and Ikorodu City will take on Yimba. That's talking about the Aba Elephants. So we'll see what happens in that one. Interesting matches to be played in the Nigeria Professional Football Premier. I don't know why I said Premier Football League. These are the fixtures. Also in a minute or two, because we must touch upon the English Premier League as well before we close. In a minute or two, which one of these games really, they're all interesting, but probably just highlight 1 or 2 that you might be telling somebody who loves football to go and see.
I think it's Bendel Insurance, Bayelsa United. That's a big South-South derby. Bayelsa United to back home defeats. Eimba went there, beat them 2-0. Nasarawa United went to Yenagwa, beat them 2-1. Now they must prove a point. Can they go to Benin and beat Bendel Insurance? It's going to be difficult, but they must show that they can respond. That was what Katsina United did. Katsina United started badly at home, lost to Warri Wolves, and then they went away. They picked a good win on the road, and then from there, they've been cruising. So that's a game I would like to see what they could do. Plateau United El Kanemi should also get us talking. They know themselves so well. It's a big fixture right there in Jos. Plateau United struggled for, I think, the first 3 matches, but now they're beginning to get their rhythm. Can they sustain it? Big question. So the battle of the newcomers, Kun Khalifat and Bara FC. I think Bara FC yet to record a win. Kun Khalifat got a win against El Kanemi Warriors. I would like to see where that one will go also, Yemi. And of course, back in the day, let's say about 10 years ago, Shooting Stars Warrior Wolves will be one that everybody will be talking about forever. But we know what's happening to your darling Shooting Stars. Finally, they got to win on match day 5. Can they sustain the momentum against Warrior Wolves right there in Ibadan? Yeah, that will be going away to Ozora. It's going to be very, very difficult game for them, because Warrior Wolves also, they've shown some, decent performances, and they want to really stay in the top flight. So those are the games I'm looking forward to. I no disrespect to Ikorodu City Eimba. That's in its own right is also a big game. And of course, Wiki Tories, they have shown us that they want to compete this season. I think just one loss so far that they suffered in the hands of Plateau United. They will be taking on Rangers. That one also should get us talking.
All right. Okay, so let me join you in the United Kingdom without taking a flight. Let's talk about the English Premier League now and see the fixtures that, will light up the space this weekend. We'll bring that to you in a bit, but very interesting fixtures to expect in the English Premier League. And, it's getting very, very interesting. There you have it. You have Brentford taking on Manchester United. Of course, Brandon Mbeumo going back to that place where he's done a lot for them. Chelsea will take on Brighton. Cole Palmer will not see action for a few weeks. Crystal Palace up against Liverpool. A lot of people are wondering where Liverpool will drop the first points. Maybe it's going to be at Crystal Palace. Who knows? Leeds United will take on Bournemouth at Helen Road. We'll see. All of these matches will play on Saturday. Of course, Manchester City will take on Burnley. Nottingham Forest will take on Sunderland. We'll see whether or not Ange Postecoglou is the right man for the job since Nuno got sacked. All of these matches we're talking about on Saturday. But on Sunday, Aston Villa will take on Fulham. And of course, for me, not because Arsenal is involved, but for me, I think this is the game of the weekend. Newcastle will take on Arsenal. Tottenham will take on Wolverhampton Wanderers. We'll see whether or not Tottenham has fully settled now that Alexander Isak has gone to Liverpool, and whether or not Mikel Arteta will get his player combinations right, because a lot of people agree that he has a better squad in the English Premier League right about now. I don't know if you agree.
100%, and the kind of spends that Arsenal did, they really want to prove a point this season. I listened to some Arsenal legends saying they were gutted they couldn't beat Manchester City. Just to tell you, the mentality of the club has changed, and against Newcastle they must really show that yes, that they can compete. But Chelsea is another team that has so much expectations this season. And against Brighton, Brighton, when they say the so-called big teams, they put out that big team mentality also. And that's why that clash against Brighton is everything. And Enzo Maresca is looking forward to it. Let's listen to him.
To protect a little bit Cole in terms of, don't get worse in his injury. So we decide to rest him for the next 2-3 weeks, probably until the international break, just to see if, with that rest, he can be able to recover 100% and to be completely fit. It's just a matter of to manage his pain in his groin. That, with the amount of games is something that can happen. So this is the reason why we try to be a little bit conservative with him, to give him rest, and hopefully he can be 100% fit after the international break.
Yeah, Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca. I mean, if you take a look at both teams, their last 5 matches, 2 win for Chelsea, 3 for Brighton. You know, you want to see momentum is on Brighton, and I'm sure that's the mentality they will take into that game.
Yeah, I expect so. Let's see if we can quickly listen to the coach of the Brighton team, and we'll come back to wrap things up on the show.
Joao was a special player for us, and it's not easy to replace him 1-to-1, but we did it as a team, and I think therefore we do it quite well. Of course, there's always a process. New players have to step in. New young players with big potential have to step in, and they have to prove themselves every weekend that they are ready for that. But this needs time. That doesn't go from today to tomorrow. So that's the first thing. And second thing, of course, like we said, that Joao is a special player. He proved it already in Chelsea the first games that he played well. He scored goals. He's very good in possession. He's a game changer for them. So we have to defend him as a team. We have to defend him as a unit, and then I'm sure that we are capable of doing that.
Yeah, so that's it, Brighton manager. Speaking ahead of that game against Chelsea, I mean, look, easily you want to say Chelsea will come out, win this one. It's at Stamford Bridge. But we have seen stranger things in football, particularly the Premier League, where, you know, the small teams just come out to prove a point because they know they need to be big in the media. And Brighton, in the last 2-3 seasons, I think they've shown us that they can compete against the big team.
Yeah, they have. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this one. So we'll see. Well, I guess that's quite a good place to leave it on the show because we're out of time. When we come back next week, we're talking about the results.
We will definitely. And if I want to put you on the hot seat, I mean, let me just shake your weekend a bit. Newcastle, Arsenal. What do you think?
Up Gunners, that's all I'll say.
Let's leave it at that. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan in everything you do. Remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, this is Ralph here in Lagos as well. We hope you enjoyed everything we've brought to you. You see us again next week. I'm Baby Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
Nigeria is bidding to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games. Interestingly, no African country has hosted the games. We were supposed to have Durban 2022, but South Africa pulled out and it went to Birmingham. Can Nigeria put a bid that can be favorable in the eyes of the assessor? So Nigeria brought a strong delegation to the United Kingdom led by the bid coordinator, Menasara Ilo. The chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko, is here. Director General Bukola Olopade. The presidency is not left out. They're represented by the presidential spokesman, Sunday Dare. I saw the legend, Marion Yali. And of course, the champ from the Paris Paralympics, Miriam Bolaji. Nigeria wants to win this bid. So by the time they get into this room, they have 60 minutes to tell the assessors why Nigeria should win the bid. The Nigerian delegates in a brief strategy session before getting down to business. The team looks calm and ready. Their mission is simple: to convince the assessors that Nigeria can host the 2030 Commonwealth Games.
Thank you so much. So you can take photos now, but during the session, you'll have to leave.
The bid presentation was closed to the media, but when it was done, I found the Commonwealth officials and Nigerian delegates in a relaxed mood.
My hope is Nigeria is going to win the bid. We have just come to do a pitch. You know, the chairman of the Sports Commission has done an astronomical job. And it really speaks to the vision that the president has for really building a sports economy and being able to get job creation and expand the economy, you know, using sport and the creative industry. And by giving the Sports Commission the kind of autonomy it needs, you know, this, you can see the results. We're winning trophies left, right, and center. And now we're at a point where Nigeria is at the final of bidding for the Commonwealth Games in 2030. And I really think we're going to get it. We did a very strong pitch. And I think, you know, we have been able to convince, we're just two countries, Nigeria and India. And my hope is that it comes to Africa. You know, Africa, Nigeria is the gateway, not only to Africa, but to the global Black community.
The Abuja 2030 bid is a national project, and the presidency is leading it.
The bid pitch that I saw today from all angles was very strong. It elevated Nigerian sports. It elevated the strength of the Nigerian economy. But above all, for me, it showed the fact that we have a president who is in tune with sports development and who has made a written commitment to support. And I think that political will in any bid is important. When the president of the country stands behind the bid, you know, that's a winner.
Indeed, a shared legacy awaits. But is Nigeria truly ready to host a big sporting event?
We are already more than 70% ready with the infrastructure. You just upgrade what we have. The Commonwealth bid structure now doesn't want you to be building the infrastructure. They want you to work on what you have, except that what you have is part of your strategic national plan. They want you to work with what you have and upgrade it to the best level because they don't want people spending that humongous amount of money hosting the event. It's about the system, you know. So definitely we have Nigeria have some of the biggest magnificent sporting infrastructure that we can have. So it's just to now upscale it and to get it moving forward. And already the 2035 budget, we are having budget allocation to upgrade our sporting infrastructure. So it's not just about the game. It's just everything we are doing here aligns to the vision of Mr. President about sport development in Nigeria.
Thank you. So there you have it. Nigeria's quest to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games is now activated with the submission of this formal bid. I understand the Nigerian delegation delivered a passionate presentation that highlighted the need to preserve Africa's legacy. By next month, the evaluation team should give us an update, and in November, the host will be announced. Austin Okonakwan, Channels Television News, London.